So in this channel, we want to focus mainly with the stocks and crypto prediction. Inside of stocks, we will range from all areas, all business aspect, from air transport, from packaging services, from oil to marketing services. So today we are going to start with the top 3 tech companies in the US. Number 1 will be Alphabet. You can see its trend up here. This is Alphabet. See its trend. Number 2 is Meta, commonly known to us, or initially known to us as Facebook. See its trend. Number 3 is Twitter. Number 3 is Twitter. Twitter is right now the modest way or formal way to represent yourself and pass information to all your followers. So I think, let me just refer back. When you see Alphabet, I mean Google. When you see Meta, I mean Facebook. And Meta is now the cover name that covers Instagram, Messenger, WhatsApp, and Facebook together. Then Twitter is this company, social media company that is actually top of the discussion around how Elon Musk is actually planning to acquire it. So number 1, let's look at the general trend across the 3 companies, starting with Google. With here we're referring it to Alphabet. Number 2 is Meta, openly known to us as Facebook. Number 3 is Twitter. So when you look at these 3 companies, they're exhibiting almost a similar trend. And basically one dip you will spot is actually occurring to both 3 companies. Check on this dip. It's cutting across from Alphabet, Google, Meta, Facebook to Twitter. So basically there was a dropping trend here, and actually something that might have saved it was maybe COVID situation. So everybody went online trying to Google about COVID. So as you Google, then Alphabet is making the profit because you're likely to purchase something they're actually advertising, and that's how they get their revenue. So number 2 was again Facebook. Everybody was trying to express themselves on Facebook or trying to even entertain themselves on Facebook. Number 3 is Twitter. Twitter was top of the discussion into how you think COVID will be, or how it has affected you, or you're trying to maybe some form of express your cry to government. People are going to Twitter. They're tagging politicians, tagging the presidents. Yeah, so that's, for example, you could see some controversy from some of the head of states, some who are not believing about COVID. So tell me in the comment section now, what do you see similar among the 3 companies, and what do you see different among the 3 companies? So basically, looking at these 3, I would say there's a difference around the trend of this place in Twitter, but generally they're more or less similar. And I've explained why this drop was short-lived earlier. When you look at a drop in 2022, it's dropping. But in 2020, it was actually, it started rising. So it's still dropping. We cannot say when it is likely to start rising. It is still dropping, of course. So maybe it might start rising from June going forward. So basically the most important thing is to identify at what instance is it likely to rise. Let me give you a clue to do a short prediction. These are companies competing for the same clients so that they can advertise to the same clients. So basically, at this instance, they had all dropped at the same time and they were all short-lived at the same time. So if you would notice a drop in one of them and you're holding stocks in another, you should know that you're likely to make a loss. For example, look at Twitter mid-2021 had started dropping. So that was enough signal to anybody who was holding stocks in Meta or Alphabet, or was holding Google stocks or Facebook stocks. It started dropping here. So when we're coming towards the end of 2021, you'd started seeing Meta together with Alphabet literally dropping, and they're still dropping to now. Check, they're dropping. Twitter started dropping here. So maybe one thing now I want us to focus to is, if this is the trend, then now how has the profit been for the companies starting 2016? Let's look at the other graph. So in the other graph, we have now the tickers themselves. Meta is known as Facebook. Google is known as Alphabet in the other graph. In this graph, we have Twitter with the ticker TWTR. So in this case, I want us to spot these companies in form of revenues. At what instance did they break up, or at what instance did they amass a lot of revenues? Everybody knows life has shifted to online. Google have their Google Meet. They're making money out of that still, or it is in some way boosting their business. Facebook, everybody was looking at a platform to share their own story about how COVID is affecting them. People started doing Instagram modeling online. It was not now attending functions physically. So look at this. From 2020 March, the profit had started skyrocketing at a rate that has never been seen. Look at 2016. It is still at a trend that is predictable. But in 2020, Twitter stock skyrocketed, followed by Google, then lastly, Facebook. Yeah. So in one way or another, COVID had positively impacted the profit, or had positively favored these big tech companies, because people are moving from doing things physically, meeting physically, to trying to engage with others online, just to avoid the instance of getting COVID. So we have a tool running online on Twitter. So this is the page. This is the account that you can follow on Twitter. You can search at stocks analytics. We have automated updates that are coming after every 1 hour, and they're actually very vivid and clear. So you can follow closely the stocks that you're interested with, starting, for example, with let's say Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin. Look at their profit starting from maybe 2016 or 2020. And again, do not forget to subscribe to our channel, because we have quite a lot more coming up. So thank you for now.